A dealer in Delhi buys an article for rupees 16,000 from a wholesaler in Delhi. He sells the article to a consumer in Rajasthan at a profit of 25%. If the rate of GST is 5%, find the tax under GST paid by the wholesaler to government. Question number 2. The tax under GST paid by the dealer to the government. Question number 3. The amount which the consumer pay for the article. So let's come to the solution part one by one. Cost of the article for the dealer 16,000 rupees as it is given in the question paper. So as the sales are interstate, GST will not go to the central government. In case of the interstate, not interstate, the IGST, that is integrated goods and services tax, and it is 5% given over there in the question paper. So 16,000 into 5%, that comes to rupees 800. The cost, the article is sold at a profit of 25% to a consumer, that is 25% of that 16,000, that comes to rupees 4,000. Thus the selling price of the article 16,000 plus 4,000, that comes to 20,000. As the sales are interstate, then GST 20,000 into 5%, that comes to rupees 1,000. If tax paid by the wholesaler to the government, that is 800 by 2, that is the 400. So CGST, that is the 400, is GST 400. If the tax paid by the dealer to the government, IGST, that is 1000 minus 800, that is 200. So total amount by the consumer for the article, that is 20,000 plus 1000, that is 21,000. Come to the next question. A shopkeeper in Delhi buys an article at the printed price of rupees 24,000 from a wholesaler in Mumbai. The shopkeeper sells the article to a consumer in Delhi at a profit of 15% on the basic cost price. If the rate of GST is 12%, find question number 1. The price inclusive of tax under GST at which the wholesaler bought the article. Question number 2. The amount which the consumer pays for the article. Question number 3. The amount of tax that is under GST received by the state government of Delhi. Question number 4. The amount of tax under GST received by the central government. So let's solve one by one. The price inclusive of tax under GST at which the wholesaler bought the article, that is CP of the article for shopkeeper, is 24,000. Rate of GST 12%. So 12% of 24,000, that comes to 2880. The price inclusive of tax under GST at which the wholesaler bought the article, that is CP of the article plus IGST paid by the shopkeeper to the wholesaler, that comes to 24,000 plus 2880, that comes to rupees 26,880. The amount which the consumer pays for article, that is CP of the article of for shopkeeper, that is 24,000. Profit on the article, that is 15% of CP. So 24,000 plus 15% of that 24,000. So that comes to 27,600. Now come the amount which the consumer pays for the article, that is CP of article for consumer plus CGST paid by the consumer plus SGST paid by the consumer, that is 27,600 plus 6% of 27,000 plus 6% of 27,000. So that comes to rupees 30,912. Come to the question number 3. The amount of tax under GST received by the state government of Delhi, that is amount of IGST for shopkeeper, that is 2880. Now SP of the article of the consumer, that is the CP of the article for shopkeeper plus profit on the basic CP, that comes to 24,000 plus 15% of 24,000, that comes to rupees 27,600. As the shopkeeper sells the article to consumer in Delhi, so this sale is intra-state sales. So amount of GST collected by shopkeeper from consumer, that is CGST, that is SGST, is equal to 6% of 27,600, that comes to rupees 1656. The amount of tax paid by the shopkeeper to the state government, that is 2880 minus 1656, that comes to 1224. So the amount of tax under GST received by the state government of Delhi, that is 1656 minus 1224, is equal to 432 rupees. Come to question number 4. The amount of tax under GST received by the central government, that is amount of tax under GST received by the central government, is equal to IGST received from wholesaler plus CGST received from the storekeeper, that is 2880 plus nil, so is equal to 2880 is the solution. Come to the next question. A dealer in Maharashtra buys an article from the wholesaler in Maharashtra at a discount of 25% on the printed price of the article being rupees 20,000. He sells the article to a consumer in Telangana at a discount of 10% of the printed price. If the rate of GST is 12%, find. 3 questions are there. Question number 1, the tax under GST paid by the wholesaler to the government. Question number 2, the tax under GST paid by the dealer to the government. Question number 3, the amount which the consumer pays for the article. So let's come to the solution part and see one by one solution. The printed price of the article is 2000 rupees. Printed price of the article, actually this should be 2000 rupees. There is a typing mistake. Okay, here it is 2000, but calculation so it is 20,000, discounted 25%, so 25% of that 20,000, that comes to rupees 5,000. So the selling price of the article by the wholesaler, printed price minus discount, 20,000 minus 5,000, that comes to 15,000. So tax paid under GST paid by the wholesaler to the government, that is 12% of the selling price. So 12% into 1500, that comes to rupees the 1800. This should be 15,000. This is again a typing mistake. So 12% of that 15,000, that should be 1800. So CGST 9,000, SGST also 9,000. There is a printing mistakes. Okay, typing mistakes. So total amount paid by the dealer, selling price plus GST. So 15,000 plus 1800, that comes to 16,800. The dealer resells the article at a discount of 10% from the marked price. So discount 10% of 20,000, that comes to rupees 2,000. Hence the selling price of the article, that is the marked price minus discount. So 20,000 minus 2,000, that is 18,000. Now the tax under GST paid by the dealer to the government, that is 12% of the selling price, that is 18,000 into 12%, that comes to 2160. Thus the net tax, that is under GST paid by the dealer to the government, that is 2160 minus 1800, that comes to rupees 360. Comes to the next question, that is question number 3, that is the last part. The amount which the consumer pays for the article, that is selling price of the dealer plus IGST. So 18,000 plus 18,000 into 12%, that comes to 20,160. Okay. Come to the next question. Kiran purchases an article for rupees 5310 which includes 10% rebate on the marked price and 18% tax under GST on the remaining price. Find the marked price of the article. So here the GST 18% is given over there. So CP of the article is equal to x minus 10% of x, as it is given 10% rebate, so that is 9x by 10. So amount of GST on the CP 18% of that 9x by 10. So 9x by 10 into 18%, a little bit calculations will be there. So just see the calculation, as it is given that CP of the article including tax is 5310. So 9x by 10 into 118 by 100 will be is equal to 5310. Just take out the values of x, a little bit simplification. So the required marked price of the article is rupees 5000. A question is little bit important for the purpose of exam. Come to the next question. A shopkeeper buys an article whose list price is rupees 8000 at some discount some rate of discount from wholesaler. He sells the article to a consumer at the list price. The sales are intrastate. Intrastate means inside the state, and the rate of GST is 18%. If shopkeeper pays a tax that is under GST of 72 to the state government, find the rate of discount at which he bought the article from the wholesaler. So list price of the article is 8000 rupees. So rate of discount given by the wholesaler x%. So x% of that 8000 rupees, that comes to 80x. Now CP of the article, that is 8000 minus 80x. It is given that CP for the consumer is 8000 rupees. Since it's the sales are intrastate sale, the rate of GST 18%. So CGST is equal to SGST is equal to 9%. That we know that half will go to the center and half will go to the state. So amount of GST paid by the shopkeeper to the wholesaler, that is the SGST is equal to CGST is equal to 9% of that amount, 8000 minus 80x. A little bit simplification, that 9 by 100 into 8000 minus 80x. Amount of the GST paid by the consumer to the shopkeeper, that the CGST is equal to SGST is equal to 9% of that 8000. So a little bit simplification, that comes to 720. So the tax paid by the shopkeeper to the state government, 720 minus 9% of that amount. After that, a little bit simplification, you will get the value of the x. So the required rate of discount is 10%. You can take a screenshot or on a plain piece of paper, you can try out this calculation at home. I think it is very easy to calculate. After that, some chapter test, some questions are there. See the question. Shopkeeper bought an washing machine at a discount of 20% from a wholesaler. The printed price of the washing machine being 18,000, the shopkeeper sells it to a consumer at a discount of 10% on the printed price. If the sales are intrastate sale and the rate of GST is 12%, find the price inclusive of tax under GST at which the shopkeeper bought the machine. Question number 2, the price which the consumer pays for the machine. Question number 3, the tax under GST paid by the wholesaler to the state government. Question number 4, the tax under GST paid by the shopkeeper to the state government. Question number 5, the tax under GST received by the central government. A list of 5 questions are given over there, and this is the question or this is the information. So let's solve this question one by one. Printed price of the washing machine 18,000, discount rate 20%, that discount becoming 3600. So selling price of the machine 18,000 minus that 3600, that comes to 14,400. Rate of GST is given over there 12%. So taxes under GST for the purchase are SGST, that will be 14,400 into 12 by 2, that will be divided half, that we know, that comes to 864, both CGST as well as the SGST. Hence the shopkeeper bought the machine at a price of 14,400 plus 864 plus 864, that comes to 16,128. Come to the question part 2. The tax under GST paid by the wholesaler to the state government, that is 864. Now the machine is sold to the consumer at a 10% discount on the printed price. So 18,000 into 10%, that comes to 1800. Deduct that 1800 from that 18,000, you will get 16,200. So the taxes under GST for the machines are 16,200 into 12 by half, 12 by half. That comes to 972 and 972. Come the next part of the question. Thus the consumer paid the price, that is 16,200 plus 972 plus 972, that comes to rupees 18,144. Now come to the question number 4, that is part 4. The tax paid under GST paid by the shopkeeper to the state government, that is 972 minus 864, that comes to 108. And question number 5, the tax under GST received by the central government, 972. Okay, this question is also over. This is a very short question. This is not long question because 5 parts are given over there. Come to the next question. A manufacturer listed price for the goods is rupees 1600 per article. He allowed discount of 25% to the wholesaler, who in turn allowed a discount of 20% on the listed price to retailer. The retailer sells the article to a consumer at a discount of 5% on the listed price. If the sales are intrastate and the rate of GST is 5%. Okay, this is the information. Then there are 6 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the short question. The prices per article inclusive of tax under GST, which the wholesaler pays. Question number 2. The price per article inclusive of tax under GST, which the retailer pays. Question number 3. The amount which the consumer pays for the article. Question number 4. The tax under GST paid by the wholesaler to the state government for the article. Question number 5. The tax under GST paid by the retailer to the central government. Question number 6. The tax under GST received by the state government. There are 6 questions are given over there. So let's come to solve one by one. The listed price per article 1600. Discount 25%. So 25% of that 1600, that comes to 400. So the selling price per article to the wholesaler, listed price minus discount, listed price 1600 minus 400, that comes to 1200. So rate of GST 5%. So 5% of that 1200, that comes to rupees 60. Thus price per article that is inclusive of tax under GST, which the wholesaler pays, is equal to selling price of the manufacturer plus GST. So 1200 plus 60, that comes to 1260. But come to the second part of the question. The wholesaler resales at a discount of 20% on the listed price per article to the retailer. Discount is 20% given over there. So 1600 into 25 into 20%, that comes to 2 rupees 320. So selling price of the wholesaler, listed price minus discount. So 1600 minus 320, that comes to 1280. Rate of GST 5%. So 1280 into 5%, that comes to rupees 64. Thus the price per article inclusive of tax under GST, which retailer pays, the selling price of the wholesaler plus GST, that is 1280 plus 64, that comes to 1344. Come to question number 3. Further, the retailer resells at a discount of 5% on the listed price to the consumer. So 5% of that 1600, that comes to 80. Selling price of the article, listed price minus discount. So 1600 minus 80, that comes to 1520. Rate of discount 5%. So 1520 into 5%, that comes to 76. So what is the price of the article inclusive of tax under GST, which the consumer pays, that is selling price of the price of the retailer plus GST, that comes to 1520 plus 76, that comes to 1596. Come to the question number 4. The tax under GST paid by the wholesaler to the state government for the article, that is 64 minus 62 by 2, that is 4 by 2 is equal to 2. The tax under GST paid by the retailer to the central government 76 minus 84. Actually the negative figure will be negligible, you can't take the negative figure. 12 by 2 is equal to 6. The tax under GST received by the state government 76 by 2, that is equal to 38. Okay.